What's up everyone, Carbon Goldstone here. So, as promised, one of the things we have to do very quickly is get a mentality of rebuilding going amongst people who have been affected by looting. So some people will not stay in their businesses or in the province or in the country, they will leave. But for those of us who are going to stay, those of us who plan on staying, being cohesive, working together, and thinking broadly of how we can help each other build is going to be important. Some businesses were really hard hit, and yet they're showing resilience. So I'm going to tell you two stories. For those of you who know me, I'm from Newlands East, in the north of Durban. And I'm going to tell you two stories about two people who at some point in their lives were from Newlands East. I don't know them prior to the looting, and they don't know each other. But it's what happened that brought us together. First person is Darren Samuels. He owns Samuels Group, which is a marketing and distribution of petroleum products company. And his warehouse in Canubia, where he was storing petroleum and oil, was completely destroyed, burnt. All the petroleum was destroyed. And Darren contacted me because he saw the video that I put out with Kyron Allen, where we were talking about how we build together and our inclusion is part of the best way forward. And so he felt that it tied up at where he wants to be. And Darren's a very forward-thinking person, positive about South Africa and about opportunity. And so much so that on the day that he's building his offices and his storage facility was burning down, he was telling his staff not to worry, their jobs are secure.
What we're also doing, you'll see, we're trying to do all the responsible things. If you look in the corner there remains the residue from that might have been toxic was the first thing that we cleaned up. We got it, it's all bagged, ready for proper disposal, and you can see what's left here is stains, and as soon as this cleaning crew are gone, we're going to clean this up and polish it. So come and see what it's going to look like tomorrow.
Darren, all these South African flags around.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I'm going to tell you the story about that in a moment. So it's a story about I am an African. I'm not leaving this country. This is where I belong. And the message to people is, this is us. We are an amazing nation. So these flags are an indication to everybody that this is something I am proud of. What happened here, of course, we're embarrassed by it. But what we're going to make it look like is something we should all be proud of. So I'm already putting up the pride. I'm already putting up the South African flag. And what we've done is, we've done two interesting things there. When you look at the South African flag, you'll notice that it actually has a Y, a T, and a T in it. And for me, that says yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And so you'll see we had a little play on the words. And we're going to tell you a story about what happened yesterday, how it is today, and come and look and see what we're going to make it look like tomorrow, not just for me, but for me and my children and their children. So I think actually we are going to rise out of this stuff in a much bigger and better way. And that's what that flag story is about, and that's the message we're trying to tell everybody.
I think what really makes what Darren does special in his rebuilding is that he irrespective of who was involved with looting and burning his company's place of business, he still wanted to help, and even more so after this. And this is what he did when he realized he needed to rebuild. Who did he go look for is quite inspiring.
So these people are from the local community, and in fact these people might even be people that might have looted my place, but I've employed them. They're back here and they are cleaning up the place with me, rather than going and employing big corporate businesses. We're using the same local people to do the cleanup, and we're going to do it quicker and better.
Because it's inclusive.
Yeah.
And this area here we're in now, what was there before?
This is the oil store. This is the oil store, or the remains of it.
Can I get closer to him
Yeah,
there?
you can.
Our economy has been structured since apartheid, probably before apartheid, to be very exclusive, and lots of people live outside that economy. So when there's junk status, South Africa's going into junk status, it doesn't mean anything to a lot of people in this country because they're so far from the economy where junk status uh, is felt. And you eventually feel it. You eventually feel every economic move on the price of bread and milk and transport. But many of us are so far removed from the economics and how the finances of the country turn and business and so rebuilding, we have to look at ways that how do we pass on skills and knowledge and teach each other. Each one teach one used to be a popular phrase when I was growing up. How do we teach each other to be more involved in the economy? Because there are certain people who have gone through this experience and are feeling quite lost.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lawrence Ross. I grew up in Newlands East, and I've been working 24 years in retail. And 2 years ago, opportunity of a lifetime was given to me, and I was able to buy a butchery. My wife and I had to take bonds, loans, credit cards, and we managed to make up the deposit. And thereafter, I got a business loan, and we bought the butchery. When this looting started, my life fell apart, and stock and equipment collectively to the value of about 300,000 Rand was lost. This is my freezer, totally emptied. 8 stolen. Everything absolutely cleared completely. Warmer, chip fryer, everything gone.
So you have two different people in two different situations after the looting in KwaZulu-Natal, Johannesburg, and their way forward, their outlook on the future is completely different based on the way their businesses were structured. I'm not sure what Darren's insurance situation looks like, and I'm not sure what Lance's insurance situation looks like. But the ability to bounce back is different, and this is where it becomes important that we start talking to each other, we start helping each other, because Lance is a young businessman. He's told his story of how he's basically scraped together to start a butchery and an impressive business to start where we come from. I'm from the same area as both of them, but to own a shop was like such a far concept for a lot of us that grew up in Newlands. It's like actually owning a physical shop that you go through every day. We almost conditioned in working for someone. So to see him step out, take that leap, and then for this to happen, the devastation he's feeling. On the other hand, Darren, also a long journey, but building up a petroleum company that's worth millions and millions. And the key here is for Darren and Lance to get to a place where Darren can pour into Lance's life advice, strategy, business support, so that young businesses that were destroyed by looting, because some businesses have been destroyed, are not completely alone. And so what I've done is I've told Darren Lance's story and advised him on how Lance is positioned after the looting versus what his outlook is, and how we can transfer that positivity, and that might involve a bit of hands-on getting involved. But I suppose this is one way we can rebuild practically, because rebuild can be like a theory in the sky, let's rebuild, but how do you practically do it? I think this is a way for business people all over the country, but in KwaZulu-Natal in particular, to rebuild. Businesses that are going to bounce back and already have a strategy to bounce back, to identify smaller businesses, smaller business families that don't know how to bounce back, and to see what can we do, how can we offer support. People in the same field, I mean, these two people are in two completely different fields, but Darren very much feels that he can offer Lance some assistance in some way. And so people like Lance can feel hope. Small businessmen like Lance can feel hope if bigger businessmen around them don't let them just disappear and fall away. And wherever you are in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, the country, if you are a big business person, look around you and see which small business needs just your strategy. I'm not saying you must throw money at them, but you've obviously developed a strategy that you are going to beat the looting situation. You're going to use it even to your benefit. So to share those strategies, helping them know where can they apply, what can they do, what protection do they have, and if we need, what money can we raise. And so this is how I think we can practically tackle this and rebuild and also transfer skills. One of the blessings in disguise that came with the riots was that we are talking to each other more, our communities are talking to each other more. So let's keep these channels open, let's keep this communication going, and let's transfer it from making sure our corners are safe, or do you have food at your house, to how can I help your business bounce back and go forward. Be strong, take strength. We're gonna beat this, we're gonna rebuild, and it's gonna be better than ever.
So okay, we'll show you what it looked like in the Devastation. This is what it looks like.
Oh yeah, hello everybody. How's it?
This is what it looks like post the event. But I want to show you a little symbol of what the staff did in response to this.
How's it?
So there you can see we've got a little garden, and on the other side of this wall is where the fire was started. We had another little administration center. Obviously we blocked it off, and we're going to do this a little bit. These three rims are the remains of one of the trucks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we've painted them, and we're going to make it a garden, and it's going to be our little reminder of what happened.
That's amazing.